This is the Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. It is true. And let's go back to that kind of trinity of health that you pointed out. And I love it is a mind, body, spirit situation. So a lot of this inner work and the values that we're talking about right now really correlates with that, the spirit aspect of health. Right. And so, the separation is an illusion. Right. Even like something that I love to talk about, and I'd love to hear your take on this, and it actually can probably forward us in the conversation around certain things that you did with your health and how you've come to know so much in, the area of health. But psychology and biology, there's no separation. Like they support each other. Right. Clearly, I'm sure that you felt that very powerfully coming off of meds and then making these shifts. From nutrition, training, all the things like that had to have also supported your psychological state, right? And then your mindset was also supporting your biological and physiological state as well, right? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, 100%. And it was the same, in hospital, right? Understanding that when I made a change in my psychology and my mindset, it changed my physiology. My blood count changed,
Yes.
like it changed my immune system so rapidly. And I
Right.
think that's the thing. So I think embracing your femininity as part of this as well. You were talking about like the masculine and the feminine. I think it's about having both. Like it's so
Yes.
critical to
Yes.
bring those together. I always talk about this concept that I've developed of biosyncing, right? Which is syncing with your mindset and your goals and your future self and really stepping into the most empowered version of you, syncing with your spirituality, like we've been talking about, and what's true for you, and then syncing with your female physiology and your biorhythms and your genetics and what is the piece that makes you, right? From a physical perspective. And I find when you put those three things, that trilogy together, everything just starts to line up and it feels easy and it feels in flow. Because I think so many times we just feel we've got to like work harder like I did as a lawyer. And it's just, we've been conditioned. That's the thing.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it shouldn't always feel hard.
No, I think, society has groomed us to be in this hyper masculine state of doing. When we do, we achieve. When we achieve, we're something, we're somebody, right? We're accepted, we belong, we're worthy. And it's really dangerous. It's not even accurate. And it leads to burnout. It leads to illness, right? The masculine energy is very, very important. I'm with you. This is something I speak about all the time, but just that harmony between my poetic way of putting it is that my masculine and my feminine energies are lovers, and their unity and their teamwork energy moving through me as a constant is what allows me to express myself at the highest level and continue this path of ascension where I'm expressing myself at higher levels. And that's actually where I get to be a greater contributor to the world as well, right? But if I'm too far in the masculine or too far in the feminine, well, then these energies are not even operating in their whole estate, right? And so I won't take us too far in the weeds.
It's the yin and the yang, right?
It is. It really
Isn't it?
is. Yeah. And that again, like that's why, at the top of the conversation with you, that's something that I've really picked up with you that I love. I mean, you talk about all kinds of important things related to health. And I think, a lot of the things I may hear from other outlets, but your specific delivery is always kind of carried in this harmonious state of where, to me, it's very empowering. I mean, focus on women. And one of the topics that I do want to talk about is syncing, the biosyncing, cycle syncing. And because I know that's a big subject for you. And that has been one of the big game changers for me. I'm 44. I'll be 45, I think, when this comes out. It's my birthday month, right?
Happy
And
birthday.
thank you. Almost there. But, learning how to leverage my menstrual cycle to my advantage, to feel my best, to perform my best, has been one of the greatest pieces of information that I've attained in recent years. And I know that's something that you talk about. And would you say that that's one element of the biosyncing that you mentioned with, yeah.
Yeah, one element. And I think it's a really important element because it's recognizing, right? You're not the same every single day. As
Yeah.
Dr. Stacey Sims says, she's been on the
My
show,
favorite. Yes.
women are not small men. And we're
Yes.
not, but it's like we're meant to show up in that way.
Yeah.
Yes, we have the same cortisol rhythm insofar as cortisol's high in the morning, it gets us up, gets us going,
Mhm.
very similar to men. And they have high testosterone in the morning that kind of wanes across the day. So this kind of 24-hour rhythm works really, really well for men. You can just do the same output, right? Every day, just rinse and repeat. It doesn't work that way for women. We're
Mm-mm.
different. And I
Mhm.
think it's like when you start to embrace that, you get better results. I mean, I don't know what you found like optimizing my training around my menstrual cycle and being a little bit more forgiving in that luteal phase. I'm not saying you have to you have to be so prescriptive with the different phases that now you're not going to do any weightlifting or any high intensity at all because you've moved into the luteal phase. So after ovulation, I'm not that prescriptive with it. I think it needs to be more intuitive than that. But I think it's like recognizing and acknowledging actually my energy is starting to go down. I want to optimize for progesterone here. That's going to help me feel more relaxed, more in tune with my body. Maybe just lessen it off slightly. And I'm going to come back even stronger next month when I try and hit those goals, right? I'm going to get a PB much more likely if I do that.
It's so true. I think the key word there is the intuitive piece. That information isn't designed to, yeah, you have to follow it like you said, it's super prescriptive. And because I know for me, I mean, the luteal phase were 14 days, something like that, right? And that's a long period for an athletic woman to if I'm not going to just sit back and just be walking for 14 days, right? There might be a day, even towards late luteal, where I feel I feel
Mm.
like I wanna push, but, um, I'm also very mindful about the progesterone. I'm mindful that I'm more inflamed. I'm mindful that, you just have different needs to keep you more in that optimal state of hormone health and, to feel your best. So it's if I do feel, for example, that, maybe it's a day mid luteal or even towards late luteal phase, and I feel like, no, but I want to push because maybe psychologically I need to. Well, then I'm just going to make sure that my recovery after that is really strong. Recovery, nutrition, sleep, everything else, supplement, whatever. But I think that you pointing out the intuitive piece is so important because ultimately that's where we want to be living. We want to be in sync and have that strong intuitive connection with ourself, right? And not just related to
Mm.
health, but in all aspects of our intuition, really.
I think so. I mean, I love you pointed that out. The reason I called it biosyncing is because bio is you, right? It's got to be in sync with you. So, yes, your menstrual cycle, if you're having one, it might be that you're in perimenopause, there's lots of disruption. So, there's extra considerations. It might be that you're postmenopause, but also like you biosyncing with you means also with your life circumstances, right? So when even things like
Yes.
when you're vision boarding, when you're sharing your dreams and things like that, if you've got kids, how are you going to bring them in? That's being in sync with your family, with what you guys want in life. And so
Ah,
that's really, I wanted biosynching to be all encompassing, right? That you literally live in sync with your values, your goals, your relationships, your stage of life, because there's seasons in life. And that just helps to create this kind of more effortless sense of flow. And life's
it's
more
so
fun, is what I
good.
found. So,
And so much more whole and fulfilling.
mm.
Yeah, you're covering all the bases. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review.